Good morning, dear children. Hope everybody is doing well. For last two classes, we are discussing about the endocrine glands and endocrine system, hormones produced, and I hope you find it interesting. And we stopped at the pancreas yesterday. We will revise the topic, and next we will move on to the three other glands, endocrine glands, that is adrenal glands, testes and ovaries. Now we'll see the pancreas. You remember, children, the location of the pancreas. It is located below our stomach. Here it is the location here, below our stomach in the curve of the duodenum. That is below the stomach only. This pancreas is located. It serves a dual function. You remember, exocrine. It functions as an exocrine and endocrine gland. It secretes the pancreatic juice through the pancreatic duct. As duct is there for carrying the pancreatic juice containing the enzymes, we will call it as an exocrine gland. Here endocrine function of this pancreas, that's also interesting. We studied about the insulin produced by the beta cells and glucagon produced by the alpha cells. Insulin, if high level of blood glucose level is there, that is detected by the beta cells of the pancreas, they reduces it to normal. And also the alpha cells, that is produced by the glucagon, if the blood glucose level is lower than the normal, this alpha cells produce glucagon and it converts the stored glycogen in the liver, muscles, etc. to glucose and maintains the glucose level to normal. That is the case of the two hormones produced by the pancreas. Now, when we discuss about this pancreas, children, we have to think about the feedback mechanism. Feedback mechanism, the hormones secreted in our body, the timing of the hormones secreted. That means when should the hormones to be secreted and produced and secreted by the endocrine glands, that timing, as well as the amount, how much this hormone should be produced. That timing and amount of the hormone secreted, that is controlled by a mechanism. That is what is called feedback mechanism. We can call that is called feedback mechanism. Actually, feedback mechanism, the questions will be asked based on this feedback mechanism. Name the mechanism which controls the production and secretion of the hormones. The timing and amount of the hormones secreted, that is controlled by the feedback mechanism. And here the best example is what we are discussing now. When suppose the blood glucose level is higher than the normal, then what happens is information is sent to the pancreas, and this information is detected by the beta cells, and beta cells of the pancreas, as you know, it produces the insulin hormone. And insulin hormone, it what does it do is, children, it converts the excess glucose into glycogen and stored it in the liver, muscles, etc. And then what does it do is, it makes the glucose level normal. Okay. So when the glucose level reaches the normal level, the insulin secretion will be reduced by the beta cells of the pancreas. So this is how the feedback mechanism controls the amount as well as the timing of the hormone secreted. So the typical example we have seen is, and here the other example also we can suppose this glucose level is low, hypoglycemia is there. Then what happens? The information sent to the pancreas, that will be detected by the which cells, children? Alpha cells. And so alpha cells will be stimulated. They produce the hormone glucagon. Glucagon converts the stored glycogen in the liver, muscles, etc. And the reverse reaction occurs. Glycogen will be converted into glucose, and this glucose is released into the bloodstream, and the blood glucose level is maintained normal. Once it reaches the normal level, the secretion of the glucagon by the alpha cells of pancreas will be reduced. So that's why the feedback mechanism. This is the example. Example we cited here an example, that is the example of the pancreas. The timing and amount of the hormone secreted, the timing, at what time these hormones should be secreted. How much hormone should be secreted? Because hormones, they are over secretion as well as under secretion or deficiency that can lead to imbalance or this malfunctioning of our body systems, organ systems. So timing and amount, how much this hormone should be secreted, when it should be secreted, that is controlled by the feedback mechanism. Okay children, feedback mechanism. Another example I will tell you, pituitary gland, we have seen it controls the function of all other endocrine glands. Okay, and here children, suppose our thyroxine level is low, hypothyroidism is there, that will be detected by the pituitary gland. It produces more thyroid stimulating hormone TSH, more will be produced. So TSH actually stimulates the thyroid gland to produce more for children thyroxine hormone. So here this is timing and amount, this is what is called. So based on the amount of this each hormone secreted in our body, there is a feedback mechanism. Okay, that's the case of the feedback mechanism of secretion of the hormones. Now we'll move on to the next, this endocrine glands, that is adrenal glands. Very, very interesting children. Adrenal glands, I hope you remember, adrenal glands are known as glands of emergency. Adrenal glands, they are known as the glands of emergency, and we will see the location. The adrenal glands, they are located here at the top of each kidney. So we have two kidneys. At the top of each kidney, one adrenal gland each is located. So two adrenal glands are there. They are located at the top of each kidney. And here children, the adrenal gland secretes a hormone called, that is what is called emergency hormone. It is otherwise known as hormone of fight or flight. And this hormone, we are focusing on this hormone only. This is called adrenaline or epinephrine. There is another hormone also, cortisol and all, produced by the adrenal gland. But you have to this for your syllabus, you have to study about the adrenaline hormone. Adrenaline hormone is the hormone secreted by the adrenal glands in traces in the under normal conditions. Okay, when we are relaxed, this adrenaline hormone, that is secreted in lower quantities only. Okay, it will be secreted in this lower quantities only when we are relaxed under normal conditions. This adrenaline hormone, it has another name also. It is known as epinephrine. The other name of the adrenaline hormone is epinephrine. So you must understand children, this hormone is known as hormone of fight or flight. That's interesting children. This hormone is known as hormone of fight or flight. So here children, the adrenaline hormone that is secreted by the adrenal glands, that is known as the hormone of fight or flight, adrenaline hormone, that is otherwise known as the epinephrine, and this is secreted in normal quantities in traces only when a person is relaxed. But whenever we are stressed, we are very stressed, we are facing a very stressful situation, like a dangerous situation, or we are very frightened or excited, when we are angry, in all these cases, this adrenaline hormone is produced in excess quantities into our bloodstream. And this hormone helps us to face an emergency condition. An emergency condition, and suppose we are very much frightened. I will tell you the typical example. You are chased by a stray dog in the morning for some purpose, for this fetching milk or for buying milk or a lockdown, anyway you go to the shop in the morning, early morning, you are chased by a stray dog. Then what happens is children, when we studied about nervous system, what we have seen, the messages are carried from your eyes, your ears, you see the barking dog, you hear the barking, so your ears, your eyes working, the messages are carried by the sensory neurons to the cerebrum. Cerebrum makes you interpret, cerebrum makes you understand that that's a dangerous situation, you have to escape from that, you have to run away from that stray dog. Then what happens is the motor neurons carry the instructions from the cerebrum to the muscles of the legs. You will start running. Okay, so here effectors are working. Effectors are working. This is how actually our nervous system help us to face an emergency situation. This is very fast. We see the dog, hear the barking, all of a sudden we start this running. So for carrying these messages to the cerebrum by the sensory neurons and carrying the instructions by the motor neurons from the cerebrum to the muscles of the legs, it takes fraction of a second only. At the same time, children, the message is carried to the adrenal gland also. The message is also at this situation, the message is carried to the adrenal glands which are located at the top of each kidney, and these adrenal glands, they are stimulated. You know what happens when they are stimulated? They start producing more this adrenaline hormone. More adrenaline hormone is secreted into our blood. You know, children, this adrenaline hormone has certain specific sites, target sites. We will see which are the target sites on which the adrenaline hormone or epinephrine acts when we face an emergency situation. It actually acts on our heart, and so that heartbeat increases. Heartbeat increases. So increase this heartbeat. Heartbeat increases the heartbeat. Then when heartbeat increase, you know what happens? More blood will be pumped to our skeletal muscles. This blood carries both this oxygen as well as glucose under, so that respiration takes place at a quick rate in the skeletal muscles. Skeletal muscles, suppose you are running, here the skeletal muscles are these leg muscles. So more energy will be produced by the process of respiration. Glucose will be broken down by the help of the oxygen. Aerobic respiration occurs. More energy is produced to face that situation, to react. That is instant reaction only, understood? So what happens, children? First increases the heartbeat. That is the first target site acted by the adrenaline hormone. Also our blood pressure increases. Blood pressure increases. That also help in when this blood pressure exerted by the blood against the walls of the blood vessels. And when blood pressure increases means more blood is pumped. And this blood carries both this glucose and oxygen. Respiration rate should be higher in order to produce more energy for this facing that particular situation. You have to run away from the stray dog, isn't it? Blood pressure increases. Our heartbeat increases. Okay, children. So these changes, what happens? Prepares our body so that more this blood, oxygen rich blood, will be carried to the skeletal muscles. Okay. Then one more thing, children. More blood when it is carried to the skeletal muscles, then what happens? The blood flow to the skin as well as to the digestive organs get reduced. That's why when you are frightened, the blood flow to the skin get reduced. Our skin becomes pale. Also the digestive organs, then they don't need that much this oxygen that time, because skeletal muscles are working here. So what happens, children? There will be contraction of the muscles around the small arteries in the digestive organs as well as in the skin. So near the skin. So what happens, children? The blood flow to the skin as well as digestive organs get reduced, and that blood will be diverted to our skeletal muscles. Okay. So that is another this reaction that takes place in the body in response to the secretion of the adrenaline hormone into our blood. Very important question in the examination point of view. And so that is the first, this heart. Our heart is the first target organ that is actually acted upon by the adrenaline hormone. Now we'll see what is the next target organ. The next target organ acted upon by the adrenaline hormone is lungs. We'll see what happens, children. Our breathing rate increases. It increases the breathing rate. What is the need of increasing the breathing rate, children? When breathing rate increases, what happens, children? More oxygen-rich air will be inhaled into our lungs. And so, this oxygen actually will be carried from the lungs to all the cells of the body because they need a lot of oxygen for producing energy. You know what happens? How does this breathing rate increases? Here, children, for breathing rate increases, just go back to your life processes respiratory system. Please go back to that. To show you that only, I am actually showing this. What happens is, how does the breathing rate increases by the adrenaline hormone? You remember, children, there are ribs. You remember there are actually 12 pairs of ribs are there. This is the sternum. 12 pairs of ribs. I can't draw all the ribs here. 12 pairs of ribs are there. Then there is another this muscular partition between this our abdominal cavity. This is abdominal cavity and this abdominal cavity is there. This one is our thoracic cavity, and the thoracic cavity, inside the thoracic cavity only what is seen, children? The lungs are there. Between the lungs, heart is there. Both are protected by 12 pairs of ribs. So what happens, children? There are muscles attached with the ribs as well as the diaphragm. This is diaphragm. This is what is called diaphragm. Diaphragm is a muscular partition between our abdominal cavity and thoracic cavity. So there are muscles attached with the diaphragm as well as that of the ribs. So what happens, children? The muscles attached with the diaphragm, they contract and they pull the diaphragm downward. And also the muscles attached with the ribs, they also contract. They pull the ribs outwards and upwards. And as a result, so the diaphragm, this is the new position of the diaphragm now. Now the diaphragm will be having this position. The diaphragm will be straight like this. The muscles attached with the diaphragm pull the diaphragm downward so that the diaphragm is straight. And the muscles attached with the rib muscles, they also contract. They pull the ribs outward and upward. So the whole thoracic cavity, its volume increases so that lungs expand. Lungs can inhale more oxygen-rich air. From the lungs, it will be, finally this air reaches the alveoli. From the alveoli, blood capillaries carry the lungs to each and every cell of the body. Okay, children? So you have to understand, this is how the breathing rate increases. So then second target organ in which our adrenaline hormone acts is the lungs. So that the lungs are protected by the ribs, so the rib muscles contract, pulling the ribs this upward, outward. The volume of thoracic cavity increases. Diaphragm, there are muscles attached with the diaphragm, they also contract, pulling the diaphragm downward. Diaphragm, dome-shaped diaphragm becomes straight, flat, so that the whole volume of the thoracic cavity increases. More air can be inhaled. Oxygen-rich air can be inhaled or taken into the lungs because lungs expanded. Okay, so this is how breathing rate increases. And next we will see, children, the third organ. You know, excess glucose is stored in the form of glycogen in the liver and muscles. So this adrenaline hormone makes the liver convert the glycogen to glucose and release it into the blood. So that what happens, children? When it is released into the actually bloodstream. So liver, this adrenaline makes the liver to convert the stored glycogen to glucose, and that glucose will be released into the blood. And so the glucose, high glucose level in the blood is very much important for producing energy by respiration. So here, so the heart is acted and heartbeat increases, blood pressure increases, and so blood circulation will be this higher and also a higher rate, and blood this pressure increases. Then the lungs are also this targeted, so the target organs as heart is acted, and the target organs on which the adrenaline acts are heart, lungs, and the liver also. So here children, the adrenaline hormone here, it helps us to escape from that situation. That is the particular example what we are discussing now is we are flying away from that stray dog. From that this is stray dog. So it is dangerous condition, we have to fly away. We can't fight back. So here we can say this adrenaline hormone as hormone of flight. That means we are escaping from that stressful or dangerous situation. This is, it is here, it serves as the hormone of flight. Okay children, so that is the case of the adrenaline hormone. How does it prepare to face an emergency situation? And another this situation I will tell you children. Here you are facing an interview, any interview. You actually go for higher studies, completed your studies and all. You are actually looking for a job, and you have to clear that interview. Very, very crucial in your profession. So what you have to do is children, you must pass that interview. And here also when you are facing that interview, this board, and you will be stressed. Usually normal human beings will be stressed. Then here children, which hormone, adrenaline hormone is secreted in your blood. You know how does it happen? Here adrenaline hormone, it actually more hormone will be released into your blood. And here you will be faced with a lot of questions. And then what happens is children, the hormone, adrenaline is poured into your blood. Your blood pressure will be high. If it is checked, it will be high, definitely high. And breathing rate also will be high. And this heart beats faster. And more oxygen will be carried to the muscles. Here more oxygen will be carried to the muscles of your tongue, because you have to answer the questions, isn't it? When interviewers ask you questions and you have to ask this answer. So here what happens is children, you hear the questions. And your ears are working, you see the lip movement of this people also, that interview people who are interviewing you, that both these members, they are asking questions, raising questions, and that will be, that information is carried from your ears, as well as you see the lip movements also from your eyes and ears. That information is carried to the cerebrum. Cerebrum makes you interpret what is the question, the meaning, what is the answer. If it is actually this stored in your brain, if you know the answer, that instruction will be carried by the motor neurons to the muscles of your tongue. And here children, here what happens children, here also the adrenaline hormone, at this situation also adrenaline hormone is secreted into our blood. This adrenaline hormone increases our breathing rate and increases our heartbeat. More glucose will be pumped to our muscles of this tongue and all, and more oxygen will be this release for respiration. So this adrenaline hormone here helps you to face that situation. So we can say this adrenaline hormone as the hormone of fight. Here you are facing the interview, answering the questions, and here we can say it is the hormone of fight. Similarly, you write an exam, you have to face the exam, you have to face the interview, face the exam. Then what happens children, here also adrenaline hormones will be released into your bloodstream, but here this actually the more oxygen as well as glucose will be pumped to the skeletal muscles of your hand, because your hand actually, that is the effector organ here. Muscles of the hand is the effector organ. When you face an interview, the effector organ is the muscle of your tongue. Here also this adrenaline hormone actually this pumps more oxygen rich blood to the muscles of the tongue, and by this acting on our heart Heart pumps oxygen-rich blood as well as our liver and lungs, etc. So this is how adrenaline hormone prepares us to face an emergency condition. So we will call this adrenal gland as the gland of emergency. We can call adrenal gland as the gland of emergency. Gland of emergency. Okay, that's all about adrenal glands. And adrenal glands, you must remember, they are located above the kidneys, top of each kidney. And so here children, adrenal glands are 2 in number, secrete the hormone adrenaline or this epinephrine. And next we will move on to the next endocrine gland, that is what is called ovary. Ovary you can see in the case of the females only. Females only you can see ovary, that you are aware of it. So ovary here children, ovary is the next endocrine gland we are going to study. You know how many ovaries are there? 2 ovaries are there, located in the abdominal cavity of the female on both sides of her kidneys. Ovaries actually they produce, here we are discussing about, focusing about the endocrine function only. The ovaries produce, 2 ovaries are there, and these 2 ovaries located in the abdominal cavity on both sides of our kidneys. And ovaries are the most important, these female reproductive organs, they produce this ovum, and this ovum or this egg is produced. That actually the ovaries produce 2 hormones also. We will see these ovaries are associated with the fallopian tubes are there, and also this our the uterus is there. You will be studying in the next this lesson in detail about female reproductive this system, very complicated structure. 2 ovaries are there. The ovaries secrete 2 hormones. We will see what are the hormones secreted by the ovaries. The first hormone is estrogen. The hormones secreted by ovaries are estrogen as well as the progesterone. 2 hormones are there, estrogen and progesterone. These are the hormones secreted by the ovaries. Okay, this estrogen hormone, be careful with the spelling also. This is the hormone which controls the development of the female sex organs, like the development of the uterus, cervix, vagina, fallopian tube or oviduct is there, and all this development, ovaries are there. The development of the female reproductive organs, that is controlled by the estrogen hormone. That is the first function of estrogen hormone, development of the female reproductive organs. And the next function of estrogen hormone is production of the eggs or the ova. Eggs are otherwise known as ova, that you have to keep in mind. You know children, every month one of the eggs or ovum will be released by one of the ovaries. That is a usual case. And this production of the eggs and release of the eggs, that is this ovulation. And so first of all this ova should be ripened. You know children, even when a child is born, a female child is born, in the infancy itself thousands of these immature eggs will be there in the ovary. But this during the adolescence only it starts get maturing. So you must understand children, the production as well as this maturation of ova, release of the ova, that is ovulation, that is also controlled by the estrogen. So estrogen hormone, the first function is development of the female reproductive organs. All the organs from uterus of this oviduct and the ovaries, cervix, vagina, everything, the whole overall development of the female reproductive organs. Second function is the production as well as the maturation of the ova or eggs, and ovulation, release of the eggs every month to the oviduct. That is also controlled by this estrogen hormone. And estrogen hormone has another important function also children, that help in the appearance of secondary sexual characteristics in a female child during the adolescence. Secondary sexual characteristic, I hope you are familiar with the secondary sexual characteristics. That is these are the characteristics which help us to identify a girl from a boy. There are these secondary sexual characteristics. These characteristics actually, all the appearance of these characteristics also, it is controlled by the estrogen hormone secreted by our ovaries. That means here children, even menstruation is there, development of this breast and all these secondary sexual characteristics, and this pelvics become this white. All these are the characteristics which controlled by the estrogen hormone. Now progesterone we will see. Progesterone actually this induces or stimulates the uterine changes that happens during the menstrual cycle. You know children, every month our uterine lining, in the case of the females, uterine lining becomes this highly thickened, and with a rich supply of the blood vessels it becomes soft and spongy, and this is in order to receive the zygote. Zygote, you know children, fusion of the egg and sperm result in the formation of a single cell, that is zygote. So in order to receive the zygote, every month actually uterus undergoes changes. And these uterine changes, it is highly thickened with a rich supply of the blood vessels, become soft and spongy. That changes will be controlled by the progesterone hormone secreted by the ovary. And progesterone hormone also help in fixing up of the zygote to the uterine wall. Fixing up of the zygote, actually it is the blastocyst, zygote next stage is blastocyst, and the fixing up of the zygote to the uterine wall, that is also controlled by the progesterone hormone. That fixing is, we will call it as implantation. Implantation of the zygote to the uterine wall, that is also controlled by this progesterone hormone. Also progesterone hormone helps in maintenance of pregnancy. You know children, 9 months and 9 days, that is the gestation period in the human beings. Gestation period from the time of this actually this fertilization till the birth of the baby, delivery of the baby, we will call it as gestation period. That is consists of about 9 months and 9 days. So here children, that actually maintenance of pregnancy, throughout that period that pregnancy should be maintained, that is also controlled by the progesterone hormone secreted by the ovaries. So here children, the progesterone and estrogen are the hormones secreted by our these ovaries, and I hope you understood the secretion of the hormones by the ovaries. Now we will move on to the next part. Next part, that is what is called children here the testes. You know children, testes are found in the case of the males only. TSTS, testes is plural. TSTIS, that is singular. 2 testes are there located. Actually in that same diagram both are shown. It is located outside our abdominal cavity. You know testes are located outside our abdominal cavity. You will be studying in detail about the testes in the reproductive system. And testes produce the hormone called testosterone. The hormone secreted is testosterone. And this hormone, actually if you study about the hormone, that is estrogen, and similar to estrogen, here testosterone secreted by the testes, they help in the development of the male sex organs. Like these testes are there, testes produce this sperms as well as the testosterone hormone, and testosterone controls the development of the testes and the sperm duct and or this or vas deferens and seminal vesicle, prostate gland, all this together make the male reproductive system. The development of the male reproductive organs, that is controlled by the testosterone. Testosterone has another important function. It helps in the production of the sperms. The production of the sperms, maturation of the sperms, that is also controlled by the testosterone. It is actually quite similar to that of the estrogen produced by the ovaries. And here testosterone controls the development of the male reproductive organs, production of the sperms. Also it controls the appearance of the secondary sexual characteristics in a boy during the adolescence. You know children, development of this actually appearance of mustache, beard, and our chest become broader, your chest become broader, and voice become rough, deeper, and all. And these changes, development of the hairs and all these are the secondary sexual characteristics. And secondary sexual characteristics actually help us to identify a girl and a boy, or we can differentiate a girl from a boy with the help of the secondary sexual characteristic. And these secondary sexual characteristic in male or boy, that is also controlled by the testosterone secreted by the testes. Okay children, so testosterone controls the production of the sperms, and secondary sexual characteristics, development of the male reproductive organs. So these together make our what children? Endocrine system. I will be giving you one. I will give you one here, children. This you have to copy into your notebook. Please copy this into your notebook. And there is actually an overall view of this. All the organs, endocrine glands, starting from our hypothalamus, and here I hope all the glands are there. Hypothalamus, pituitary, pineal gland is there, thyroid, parathyroid, thymus, pancreas, adrenal, and testes and ovaries. These things actually, this is a table showing what we studied till now, and you have to copy this into your notebook. That is your work. Okay, please copy it into your notebook. Now, based on this, I will ask you some questions.